Opening mics. Okay, we're opening up those mics. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. If you're in the chat, say hello to us. Say hello if you're there. It's Friday afternoon. How's that?
Again. Huh? Well.
There we go. Oh, yes, of course.
Oh, yeah, you left the music on.
Turn the music down a little bit. Oh, dear, we've got the wine. Here we are. Hi, everyone. Why are you late 2 minutes? Oh, sorry. You got a busy afternoon. Because the stars are always late. Why are we late 2 minutes?
What day is it? I'm like...
Because we were drinking booze and talking. And then we thought... And we were like, hey, wouldn't it be great if there was a live stream where we could do this? And we went, oh, there is. There is.
No, do you want to really know what grinds my gears? Not that we are 2 minutes late, but today... Okay, so I was in the center of Tallinn and I wanted to buy coffee. You know, but it's still the fucking emergency situation. Okay. So I was like, okay, I wanted to buy coffee and I went to my regular place and it was like closed. Place next to it was closed and I was like, can I get a coffee in Tallinn? Like really, and it took me half an hour to find a coffee shop that was open.
What was your regular place?
Caffeine in Narva, Mante, next to the Coca-Cola Plaza.
Fordham?
Yes, yeah.
That one there. On the street, not the one in the Vidokeskus.
No, both of them were closed. Both of them were closed, and I was like walking around like, can I please get a coffee? It's 9 a.m. I need a coffee.
There's a really angry Sille-Kadri Simba walking around. Yes. She's raging. She's like, People are like crossing to the other side of the street. Yes. You're like doing this, like Donkey Kong or something.
She-Hulk realness.
She-Hulk style. And where did you eventually find the coffee?
In Old Town.
In Old Town, okay.
I literally went to Old Town.
Was it just some touristic cafe?
No, there's one vegan cafe, Lisanna.
Vegan cafe. Oh my, you've really reached low, haven't you?
I'm vegetarian, fuck you.
Vegan cafe.
What?
Can I have a vegan coffee? Too many coffees are made with animals. Jesus, maybe the cow likes it.
Well, I know you would like it, but...
Sure.
Don't speak on behalf of the cows, okay? You don't know what the cows want. You don't know cows. Okay.
It is true, I don't know cows.
Actually, one time I was called blah blah cow.
Blah blah. That's
I'm gonna brand that shit. I'm gonna make t-shirts.
That should be blah blah cow.
Blah blah cow. I'm like, I don't care as long as you buy my t-shirts. We're all good, honey.
Like the blah blah Tissident.
Serving you blah blah realness since 2018. Yes.
So here we are this week. It's Friday afternoon with Louis and Sille. We've got this week we're drinking Wairau. Viral Pacific. How appropriate. We're drinking Viral Pacific. It's a New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc from the same place that I can't pronounce, Marlinborough in New Zealand. It's not bad. It's all right.
You can pronounce that?
And
Marlborough.
Like the cigarettes.
Yeah.
You're saying it like the cigarettes.
It's not?
Fucking smoky.
I always said it like that.
Marlborough. Maybe it is. It's one of those weird English words that... every week it's usually myself picking out the wine, and I have a particular strategy to picking out wine. I've studied for years. I've been researching, and then I go to Rimi and find whatever's on special. And this was €2 off. It's usually €9, and it was €7. And I went, I would drink a €9 wine for €7.
That's how much effort he puts into it.
Yeah. That's literally what I had to do. I was having a conference call before this. We're talking about a conference that we're going to be doing in October. And they were like, I'm like, I have to go now. I have to prepare. And she's like, oh, are you writing notes? Are you, however do you prepare for the live stream? I went, well, getting a bottle of wine.
I'm having a crazy bitch who never shuts the fuck up.
It's fine. We've got...
It's week 8. Like literally, you've been talking to me like 8 weeks.
Crazy cow lady. Here we go. Crazy cow. The mad cow.
Moo fucking motherfucking moo. I don't know. Moo bitches.
Oh, you got...
So, I don't know. It was so funny for me. Like I was like blah blah cow. I was like, I don't know. I just related to it. I was like,
good.
Yes. I was like, yes.
It's good. That's a good... You got to adopt that. Blah, blah, cow. Blah, blah.
Yeah.
So thanks for joining us here. It's another Friday. Is lockdown over? Who can say? We don't really know. Nobody knows.
Well,
It's inspecific, unspecified.
Officially, yeah, it's ending on Monday. No, sorry. The last day is on Sunday. So it's the last weekend that we have the lockdown.
But what's left? Like what? I mean, of the lockdown, what haven't we opened yet? I don't understand.
Gyms.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, now gyms are opening on Tuesday. Like, and all the places you can do sports, I guess. Like something like places with, I think even like spas and stuff maybe are opening.
Great, I can get my nails done. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Good.
So yes.
Okay, they're the last.
Yeah. So and what else? And actually, like, okay, we are going back to the office. I just today I got like specialists cleaning the entire like our office spaces and stuff like that. We had everything disinfected, like everything washed, windows, walls, carpets, everything like that. It smelled really bad.
I should get the Comedy Estonia office cleaned like that. Nothing to do with Corona. It's just because Daniel Weinberg's was in there.
Oh yeah, that's disgusting.
Okay, it's jokes. Blah blah cow, whatever. Yeah, it's. I have a frustration with the lockdown that the information the government has given us so far, which is apparently, because I'm thinking about events, that we can do. They said what by August or something, it's 500 inside, right?
Was that the official?
Yeah, exactly, right.
Because there was like the ministers. Is it the
ministry or the ministers?
Ministers, where like, yes, we talked about this. Maybe we're gonna allow 1,000 people per event, blah blah blah. But the thing was, like, if it's not on an official site, like actually, printed, we cannot go by it. So I'm like waiting for. From the government, like to release those documents, what is actually allowed, what is gonna happen, like not just something like the minister say like it's gonna be like that, maybe not. It's still like people think like okay, we're gonna have festivals with 1,000 people. I don't know about that, because if it's not on the paper, like I read it, I got really excited. I was like, yes, we're gonna have events, we're gonna have to do this.
Outdoor with 1,000.
Outdoor with 1,000, and indoors were like
500. So
yeah.
far, they said.
But with the indoors, it was like, because they want to open cinemas and like theaters and stuff like that in July. That's the plan. That's what they were, the Ministry of Culture and stuff like they were talking about it, and also Education Minister and stuff like that. But they were like thinking that, okay, what are going to be the rules for outside events and indoor events, because it's going to be different. And how the hell are we supposed, if it's, let's say, if it's going to be a festival with 1,000 people, okay, it's not big, but it's, reasonable. It's 1,000. But
it depends on the ground, how big it is.
Yeah, and the thing is, how you're going to keep your distance, like, while you're raving?
I'm buying my beer, I'm lining up, how are we going to...
And toilets are like, we use toilets, and I'm like...
Oh, it's going to be the Corona cesspit. Imagine that toilet, that porta potty. You got to go in there. Like, that's number one Corona situation happening. I'm sure of it.
Yeah. So, and I'm really confused, because what about like flights? Are they gonna allow us to fly somewhere in Europe, outside of Europe? Because for me, the riskiest thing is actually to take a plane somewhere, because if you're sitting in a plane and somebody fucking has Corona, you bet your ass you're gonna get it.
Already the buses.
Yeah.
The buses are full. You don't get a seat. If you're on Lux Lines right now, you don't get a seat. I know this from secondhand. I didn't be on the bus, but direct report from Lux Lines that there's it's back to situation normal. There's Russian grandma sitting next to you, and she has no fucking idea about Corona, and she's coughing her lungs up everywhere. And I don't know, unless you've got to do that like gangster shit where you buy the seat next to you as well. I guess that's what like...
But here's the thing. Okay, let's say you're sitting alone in the aisle.
Right.
Just let's say you're sitting alone in the aisle. Isn't that the problem, that the air goes around?
Oh, it's crazy.
So it doesn't even matter if I'm sitting next to you or you're sitting across me or whatever, because I know that the air goes through some filters, but I'm not.
Still, if someone's got
so you're
it,
gonna breathe in like a little bit filtered air, but I still think that there's a really good chance that you can catch the virus, especially when you're flying. You go to airport, I don't think I'm gonna fly this year, to be honest.
Okay. So my issue with this is, okay, they're talking about by July, maybe August, 500 people. But I'm like, what about our 50-person open mics? Like, you're going from 0 to 500. You don't have any gradual plan. Let us bring 20 people together. Let us bring 30 people together. Like, you're just going, nah, end of July is going to be 500. Oh, really? So we all just have to sit around and jerk ourselves off for the next 2 months when we could maybe getting 20 people together, separated a bit. Like, that's the only thing. I don't know where this is going to go. This, for me, this is kicking in my rebellious spirit, which is often rebuffed by the rest of the comedians, and rightly they rein me in. But I'm a bit of rebellious spirit in this hand, because I'm a little bit like, we need to do a show and test whether the police are going to turn up. Because if we run the show in a way that we feel is safe, outdoor, terrace, enclosed, policed, so there's only the correct amount of people in there. People can't come and go, can't jam in. Close, probably obviously can't be 2 meters apart, but something, right? If we run that, are the police going to show up? If we run that June 1, before Midsummer, will Mariana Uberle turn up in the wee? Will her and the police turn up? I love that. Come on. They're just joking around. Will the police turn up and do something? And I have another strategy. Like, it seems a bit inconsistent to go from 0 to 500. Like,
I get that. Not like little by little, but yeah. But as far as I know, as far as people have told me, like reliable people, it's like until the end of June, public events are completely like not allowed at all. Like you cannot have like your Jaanipäev, you cannot have your Midsummer.
Exactly. But that's not a public event. Technically, it's on private land, so you can't have the public one in the village. But you're free to do whatever the fuck you want on your own land. Yeah,
because
you were always free to do whatever the fuck you want on your own land.
True, but here's the thing. So for me, like, this is what I've taken out. Okay, until the end of the June, I know I am not allowed to have any events, like whatever. And I hope that in July, it's going to be fine to organize some stuff, even if it's limited, whatever. But for me, it's like, I don't mind if it's going to be like max 500 people or whatever. But if I'm gonna have to, I don't know, give them masks or like, I don't even know like what are the rules gonna be. Like, nobody knows. But if they're gonna make some really crazy rules, how are you gonna enjoy yourself?
I don't think there are crazy rules. I think if you walk around any mall, walk around Teleskivi, I haven't been to Old Town, I'm gonna assume it's the same. Nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah.
Now, and if you give a fuck, you're not there, which is fine, because we're not forcing people to come to these events. If you're worried, you have pre-existing condition, if you're worried about something, if you're also living with people who are at risk, absolutely you should be staying away. Absolutely you should be. But you can walk into any mall in Tallinn right now and there's a whole bunch of people who don't give a shit.
Yeah, because as soon as like Christina Keskus opened, I just went to a store.
Bam.
I just went to Prisma. And I was like, God damn. Like, oh my God, it was crowded. Like, it was a fucking festival there.
Yeah. Everyone's raving on. They're hugging. They're like, oh my God, it's great to see people again. There's a whole bunch of people who are like, we're at this stage where maybe we are educated enough about this that people are making their own choices about these things.
Yeah, I believe so, because it was like the last few days, there's been 5 new cases or something like that. It's like really low, like, because in March it was like 100 cases per day.
Sure.
And now it's 5.
Right.
So we have contained it.
Yeah,
and like, where is the cure? Where is the cure? We need the cure. Send us the cure so we can have events.
So I have my backup plan for all of this.
Yeah. Okay.
Is that apparently the people who can meet right now, churches.
What?
Yeah. If you're in a church, that apparently
they
go
got
to
that
church.
passed. Because it was an issue, because I remember like there were people discussing that it doesn't matter are you church or not, you shouldn't be allowed to. Like,
well, I mean,
you can praise at home, you know.
It's interesting that even it got that far in Estonia, because in most other countries it's like, oh, church, oh shit. So okay, lowest amount of church going people in the world, in Estonia or whatever. But I think the churches got passed. So I'm like, oh, you can go to the church and pray, but you can't come to the Comedy Estonia open mic. I'm like, cool. So here's my plan. We're going to have open mic on the terrace at a pub. Oh, but it's a pub. That's our altar. That's where we pray. We've got the wine. We got better wine than they have at the church, by the way. We've got the snacks. Usually you get a snack from the priest.
Mm-hmm. A cookie or something. Yeah.
Cookie, right. This time it won't even be his penis. It's going to be like, we've got Justus Schnitzel. We've got like the garlic bread, the dark bread. This is like what you really want. You would be fucking in church if that's what church was serving. Okay.
And it would be entertaining.
I am 100% prepared. At our first open mic, I will stand up there and lead a prayer.
Oh, I have the nun costume.
Yes, exactly. We've already got our nuns. You can come along. We've got our priests.
We even have a logo with the nun.
Yep, we've got Carl. He's got the hair, the big beard. He looks one of those old Orthodox priests.
Yeah.
You're dressed as a nun. I will stand up there. I will lead the prayer. I'm not quite sure what the prayer will be yet. It'll be like, oh, dearly beloved. Be like, our Father who... Be like, our Father who...
George Carlin.
Our Father who ran away to get cigarettes and never came back. Hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, you know. Like, we're going to be serving the food. Like, I will lead the prayer.
And the saints would be the most famous comedians, like, on the wall. We can put them
we're going to put them behind. We're going to have stained glass windows around the place. We'll make the Church of Comedy Estonia. Like, why are the churches allowed to meet and we're not allowed to meet?
Holy grail of comedy.
Right. And see, this is where my rebellious spirit kicks in. Mm-hmm. Because I'm even like... Because I think there's a certain stage, and the government even hinted at this in their plan, that the will of the people needs to be there. That part of their plan was like, you know, how do we reopen the country? Mm-hmm. And they had these criteria. They were like, yo, the curve has to flatten. We have to have not so many extra cases get announced. Mm-hmm. This needs to happen. And one of the criteria was the will of the people. Are the people still willing to accept the thing? And part of the worry that we have as comedians, because yes, we stand up on stage and we're like, yeah, I'm a comedian. Yeah, fucking, yeah. But we're also deeply insecure, which is why we're comedians. And we're deeply insecure about the fact that we might run a show and then something happens and then everyone goes, fuck you, we hate you, which I don't think is typically going to happen, but we have a fear of it. Mm. But if the people are on our side, then we start to think like, all right, look, this is my mind. Look, because I'm an old school history comedy guy, right? I'm thinking of George Carlin being taken away by the police for saying bad words on the stage. I'm thinking of Lenny Bruce. You ever watched that TV show, that show on Amazon, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel?
I don't remember, but it's really old.
No, it's pretty new. It's called The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and it's set in, I want to say I don't know if it's the 60s or the 70s. Okay. And it's... God, it must be the 70s. And it's a fictional show, but it incorporates real life. Okay. And Lenny Bruce, who's one of the original, like before Carlin, he's the generation before Carlin.
Oh.
And they were getting up and it was before stand-up clubs were in New York, and there was only jazz clubs. And they would get up and do these funny monologues in between the bands. That's where stand-up evolved.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Quite a stand-up evolved there, and it evolved quite parallel in the same ways in London and in New York, or America and UK, let's say, that there were these jazz clubs, these music clubs, and funny guys would stand up and say. And Lenny Bruce is sort of almost a generation before George Carlin, getting up, and they were saying things, and the cops would come in and haul them away. And, you know, there's Lenny Bruce being taken away by the police. And Marvelous Mrs. Maisel is like a fiction, but Lenny Bruce is a character. So
Okay.
she's this young lady who she's married and she's pissed off and she ends up getting really annoyed and going down to the club and just talking, and it turns out it's really funny and so, but I've only seen the like few episodes.
Okay.
But one of the, like, she gets then hauled away by the police several times. She's in the police cell with Lenny Bruce. It's like a fiction, but they incorporate a real character. And I find that very interesting.
Yeah.
So I'm all like, yeah, let the police come. This is awesome. This is like punk rock.
This is NWA.
OG. Yeah, NWA. This is OG comedy. That if we do a show trying to do our thing, we think we're being reasonable. The crowd is into it, and the crowd is there of their own free will, and the police turn up. I'm like, fuck yeah.
Because for me, the church idea is kind of like actually doable, because there's even a Star Wars church. I mean, like, you can have a church on whatever, because Scientology is fiction. Totally like science fiction, and they made a church out of it. So
sure, and that is America. So now we're getting
true.
We're getting into legality. Someone did link me the document, because I started to talk about this on Twitter, and someone did link me a document of what you need to do to become a church in Estonia.
Okay, what do you actually need?
I didn't. Well, it's in Estonian. I didn't read it.
Sorry.
I think it's a longer process than just, because I'm just like, yo, I'm a church. What are you going to do about it? And there is some legal definition of church. Apparently, I'm like, dare you suppress my religious desires?
Well, okay.
We should be a church.
Yeah,
so
we would have members. Like we would.
The Church of Comedy Estonia. This is how we're going to be able to do shows. It's just, I'm not usually frustrated, but I'm frustrated that we're going 0 to 500 in, and we can't allow some people to make their own choice, especially when. Look, if the numbers were going back up, I'd be like, absolutely. Mm-hmm. But if those numbers stay reasonable...
I mean, Yuri, we've been good. We've been really good.
Yuri, we've been good, Yuri. Can we, please, Yuri, can we go out to play? Can we?
You sounded like Oliver Twist. Like, can I have
Can I have more?
Sure.
Yuri. Humor religion. You're right, Jan. Humor religion. We will pray at the Lenny Bruce, who gave himself up, George Carlin, who was arrested.
Bill Hicks as well, I think.
Was Bill Hicks arrested, or is he just a rebel?
He was like, I remember he was a lot in the news, like, parents hated him, and
maybe
everybody,
that
it was a lot of controversy with him. Like,
maybe someone could double check that. I'm not sure that Hicks was arrested, but certainly very controversial.
Yeah.
Certainly.
I just love how he just used to smoke on stage and just flip people off. And just be, I don't give a fuck that you paid for a ticket. I don't give a fuck. Like, he was just he cannot do this shit. Like, it was like, he was like, for me, just like a perfect, like, a lot of people didn't get his comedy, but I get where he came from. He was just like an insult comedy that doesn't give a fuck. And it's like, it's my show. Like,
right.
You're welcome.
2 things on that. First of all, there's a lot of young comedians out there who obviously love that and would see that and are inspired by that. Any young comedian who's out there who goes like, yeah, Bill Hicks, what a fucking rebel. Yeah, I want to do that too. Mm-hmm. I urge you to go and watch the early comedy of Bill Hicks. Bill Hicks is a fucking 16-year-old getting up in a club talking about how much his parents annoy him. Right? Like, there are some, you can find it out there. All I'm trying to say is that Bill Hicks, the legend, the amazing comedian, he started somewhere else. He didn't just go for the jugular straight up.
No, because I remember I seen his shows when he was like in his 30s or something. Like,
then he's getting somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Keep in mind, he's been doing comedy for 12, 15 years at this stage. That's the legend that most people know.
Mm-hmm. And actually, Jim Carrey was the one who started also very young, like already like when he was like 15 or something like that. Also super young. I'm like, I have so much respect, like being 15 and on stage. I cannot like, no, I couldn't comprehend that.
I mean, I don't know if you've been before the lockdown, how many shows you were at, but we got a couple of these young guys, and they're fearless. We got a few of them, and they're sort of building their shit up, building their 5s, building their 10s up, and we're thinking about putting a little extra show on just with these young guys. I'm a fan of, certainly I'm a fan of comedians paying their dues. I'm a fan of comedians working it, like not just being like, oh, I'm a comedian now. let's do my hour. Like, I obviously don't like that.
Yeah.
But I'm also a fan of comedians getting some decent shit together, even if it's short, even if it's like kind of rough, and then putting on something where they can try that. And as long as you say that's what it is, it's okay. Like, as long as you say, hey, this is some young guys, they put together their first 15 minutes each. You know, it's what did you want? It cost you $5 to get in. What did you want? You know, like if you bill it as this is my hour and it's amazing and look at me, this is the problem, right? So we got a couple of these young guys and they're fucking fearless. Sandra's into them. I'm into these guys. You know, they could be great or they could turn into Daniel. I'm not sure.
Because even Daniel started somewhere.
Indeed.
Actually, from the top, and it was been like downhill.
The reason Daniel Weinbergs is in Comedy Estonia because many years and moons ago, I was invited to give a talk at Rocca al Mare School where Daniel went to school. He was, I think, 16. I don't think he was, I think 16. Mm-hmm. And I was really sick. I was sick. I wasn't hungover or nothing. It sounds like it would be hungover, but I was just really sick and whatever for some days, but I'd agreed. And I was just there, like, I'm just there to talk English, basically. You know, like, talk about your comedy, but really just a foreigner to talk English to the kids. And I gave the talk, and Daniel was in the audience, and I forget if we met then or he introduced him later, and that's how, you know, he came from there, and he started to do the comedy. Yeah, he started to do the comedy, and then he started to come to shows, and then, you know, we're backstage feeding him beers before he's 18, much
that
before he's 18.
Lot.
Right. So
he was somebody. He went to Rocca al Mare. Like, I'm actually shocked. That's a pretty good school.
Oh yeah, the family is up there.
Because I remember, like, I randomly saw him. It was a couple of months ago. I think it was in January. I was at an event. He was hosting it, mm-hmm. And then he was like, "Sille, is that you?" And I was like, "No, no, it's not me." And then we were talking, and it came up that he's like, what, 23 or something. He's young.
Yeah, he's something like that.
He's like 20, and I'm like, oh my God, you're so young. Like, I always forget it because I know that he has done this shit for like 6 or 7 years or something like, you know, I know that he has done this for a long time. And I always forget that he's so much younger than me. And like, I don't know, I kind of like always like think he's like in his 30s or something. I don't know. I'm sorry.
That's what he looks like. The years
Come on,
of
with the
comedy.
mullet. I mean, like, that's so, that is so daddy. I don't know.
So what do you now that we is it right now or very soon the borders are opening, at least in the Baltics?
Yes.
So you're going to Lithuania, you said.
Vilnius, baby.
When are you going to Vilnius?
5th of July. So
Jesus. Okay, I thought you were going like next week. You're like, okay, 5th of July.
Yeah, I decided I'm gonna take 2 weeks of holiday. I'm working really hard right now, and then I feel like it's been a long time since I had a vacation, and I just need some time off because this getting used to this crisis and new things, and it's been a lot of work actually, just, you know, behind the scenes and just doing new things, and I kind of feel just I want to change the scenery because I was doing home office 7 days a week, and I was all the time like, you know, because, you know, home office, I need to work all the time, blah blah, and I kind of like felt it like it's too much, and I just want to take 2 weeks off. And I'm going with my friend because my friend, she has her birthday in the end of May. And I was like, so what are you doing on your birthday? And she's like, fuck you. Like, because she's like, I'm not doing anything. Like, nobody's going to come to my birthday party. I don't even want to risk it. So I was like, okay, let's go somewhere. And she's like, where? Like, Lithuania. I was like, I've never been.
Cool.
I was like, let's go. And then we were just buying tickets, and I was like, everything was cheap. And
sunny, exotic locations like Vilnius. Okay, wow.
It's gonna be 20 degrees. So
sure, it
like,
is warmer down there.
Yeah, it's warmer. It's warmer. So I was actually getting excited. Oh, I'm going to Vilnius. I'm like, so like Vegas. I was like,
oh my God.
I don't know, because I haven't traveled like in 5 months or something.
Sure,
So I'm actually getting excited.
It's like the old days. It's like the Soviet Union again. Like, oh, I can go somewhere.
It's
like
exactly because my grandparents used to tell me that when the borders were closed, you could still go to Russia or Latvia or Lithuania, or, you know, like in the Soviet countries. So actually, yeah, if they were really like, you know, bored, they would actually hitchhike to fucking Kaunas or like Vilnius or whatever. They would just hitchhike and just party there and come back to Tallinn.
That hitchhike culture is so interesting. When I was first here in Estonia in 2006, hitchhike culture was still a big thing. And my friends would be just like, hey, and I remember I think it was maybe 2006 or 2007. We were in Tartu, and my friend said, "Hey, we're gonna go visit friends of ours who are still studying in cool, and I forget how we did it, how we got there in the end. And we tried to hitchhike, and so there's me, fucking trying to hitchhike out the side of Tartu.
I cannot imagine
this
that.
look
Oh
going,
my God.
I forget, we ended up giving up and just catching a bus or something. I don't remember. Anyway, it was still, I remember even then, there was still very common to see people on the outskirts of Tallinn or outskirts of Tartu, like just doing these ones.
Yeah, because when I was underage, I was broke as fuck, and I hitchhiked a lot. I hitchhiked like over 200 times in my life, at least. Yeah.
And it was fine and really normal and reasonably safe and...
Reasonably safe.
And
I was 16 and I was like...
And it's interesting because it's not a thing anymore. You haven't seen a hitchhiker for fucking ages.
No, I haven't.
No one has.
Because we're not a poor country anymore. I don't know, like it's not a thing anymore. It's like you can get a... because I remember when we still had the crowns, like the last currency. I remember like actually tickets being really expensive to go from Tallinn to like a small countryside place or whatever. Like I remember traveling being really expensive. And you know, like when you were a teenager, you were like, "Oh, I'm just gonna hitch a ride," like, and it was free, so
it worked. Yeah, it was normal. Like it wasn't like a super weird thing.
No, it wasn't because I met some people even on the way and stuff, and I was like, "Oh, okay, and just you know." It was fun. It was so funny. I was like 16 and 17 and getting a free ride, and then just finding new people to hang with and drink with, and it was so weird. Like I actually met people like with that. I don't know. It was a weird time, like 2007, 8, 2009, like something like that. It was a weird time.
Because the stereotype of hitchhiking in the West, like right from where I'm the West, the open West, is that you've always got a sign. Yeah, like that, right? Where in Estonia, because you don't have a sign, you're just like, well, I'm on the fucking Tartu road. So I'm going to Tartu. Yeah, that's where I'm going, right? Or maybe at worst, you're going to take me to the Viljandi turn off, and then, I'm going to stand on the Viljandi road.
You
just
and get stop a car and you're like, hey, where are you going? Right. Where are you going? No, I can drop you there. It's like, sometimes it's like someone was driving around and it's like, I'm not going there, but it's okay. Like, I'm gonna take you there. It's fine. Because, usually it was easy to get to Tartu or to Pärnu. But if you need to go to somewhere like to a small village in the middle of nowhere, it can be like, a little bit a runabout. And then people will sometimes be like, no, it's okay. I have time. Like, I can just drop you off there. It's fine. And I was like, Estonians were really nice. I don't know.
Yeah, back then it was really like, it was a little bit more difficult for me. Okay, 2 reasons. One, that I didn't know how it worked. I was still like Westerner, like what? Huh? How does this? And obviously, okay, big, dumb Western looking face that, big, dumb male looking Western face was not the most easy pickup. The easiest when my friend's getting a ride. Or you do the thing where like the chick's there and she's like, yo, yo, yo. And then the car stops and then the boyfriend jumps out of the bushes like, oh yeah, P.S. My boyfriend's here as well.
We've done that as well. I remember seeing actually a lot of guys from the army hitchhiking to get back to home or something, because the money is shit if you go to army in Estonia, so you don't have money to actually get back home. It was really sad.
I was at the Tallinn bus station yesterday.
Oh.
And I was there waiting and another bus pulled up, but not in the main bus thing, into the other thing. And and I didn't know what it was. It was like a regular bus, and just all of a sudden all these dudes get off the bus and it just scatter. And then I see some chick. There's several ladies waiting, and one of this chick, she's full made up. She's looking pretty hot actually. She's all made up and she's looking good, got the dress, and she's got all these she's got a big thing of balloons, like a huge thing of balloons, and they're all green, like camouflage.
Oh.
And then it strikes me like, oh, these are the bros getting back from the army. Mm-hmm. And they're all scattering, and you very quickly see like they're happy. Maybe their mates are coming to pick them up. So a few of these guys are getting their girl to come and pick them up instead. Mm-hmm. And it obviously must have been some dudes who have been there for a while, because that was all like, it was party. It was like, yo, miss, yo. They were all fucking right into it. Because when I saw this chick with the balloons, I was mixed.
Yeah, I never seen that.
Because on one hand, I was like, oh, she's got balloons. Really? I'm coming back from the army. From the army. I've been serving our country.
No, you've been cleaning toilets still.
I'm the army. We're fighting for the land. And then you give me balloons at the end. And I'll be like, all my friends are here. Don't embarrass me. Like all the friends, all the tough guys.
Well, it's like
just come back from the army. She's like, here are the balloons. But then again, I looked at this chicken like she was banging. I'm like, who gives a fuck what balloon she's got? I don't care. She's got a pink teddy bear. This chick was banging. I'd be like, yo, you fuckheads, you can all go jerk off to some porn because I've got this banging chick. So maybe it wasn't such a problem. Hello to everyone in the chat. We are watching if you guys are there. It's nice. Yeah, we know that you guys are there. We appreciate you guys signing in. Yeah, so it was cool. I just randomly showed up at the bus station and it was great to see bros hanging out with bros, couples meeting again, and it was like a real outpouring of emotion.
That's cool. But for me, with the balloons, I mean, like, you wouldn't expect that, so it's kind of a cool surprise. Like, come on, you're gonna remember that. You had some chick waiting for you with fucking balloons. I would be all over.
Yeah,
I would be like,
at first I was like, Mom, I don't want the balloons.
But you're insecure.
I know, because I'm horribly insecure. So I'm a comedian. We worked through these already. We're horribly insecure as comedians. So yeah, I forget where we're going with this, but it was cool to. It was nice. I guess those guys are coming home because one.
They've been also in lockdown.
They have been in lockdown because we were in communication with one of our comedians, Erki Ott. And Erki is, he stayed on after his year to, he got the conscription, what he got to do, the year or the 8 months or whatever the fuck. He stayed on and he kept on going. And we were talking to him in the lockdown. He's like, because he was writing to us going, yo, we got these guys on base here in Paldiski and we're going fucking crazy. What can you do? And we're like, well, you go ask your commander, what can we do? And we'll do it. And I was talking to Sander. And I was all like, yo, can you get that burger van back? Like, can we get it back?
Oh, yeah.
You know, let's get the van. Me and Tim's going to be there. We're going to cook some burgers for these guys, but couldn't get that. And we were like, hey, will the commanders let us come and do a show somehow? They've done a few shows already on the Paldiski Army.
Yeah, the Army
base.
Nights. Yeah,
But the Army was just like, nah, no one in the base has got corona. And maybe that was the feeling, like, yeah, we're not going to let the Army guys get, you know. So those guys were going. Because even, I mean, look, I don't want to speak too many out of school too much about what the Army, but they were like, yo, we've been macaroni and cheese for the last fucking 2 weeks. What can you bring us a burger?
Yeah, I kind of feel that.
Which is fair enough. I mean, look, that's how the Army goes. What do you want? It's the Army.
It's the fucking Army, literally. It's yeah. It has discipline. It has rules.
It's nice that the boys are getting out. It's nice that the boys are, you know, getting some.
Can you imagine like being in the army for 2 months in a row, like literally, like not seeing anybody, not seeing your friends, family, like just being with the guys?
Yeah, that this is your time. That, okay, fair enough. The Estonian men have to do this unless you're like Carl and you say you're a crazy person and you get out of it. You know, like
I never supported that it's mandatory. I don't think it's fair. I actually think it's against human rights.
Okay, wait. Okay, this is a good one then. So do you think it's unfair that anybody has to go, or do you think it's unfair that only men have to go?
I think it's unfair that only men have to go. If it's like mandatory, it should be for everybody. Otherwise, I would be a hypocrite and sexist.
So you're going to go?
Actually, my grandpa wanted me to go.
No. Would you go? You're all like, yo, this is sexist, but...
if it was mandatory, I would have gone.
Okay.
Yeah, because I need the fucking discipline in my life. Okay, I was out of control. I was out of control.
This is true. This is true.
I think 8 months in somewhere, like just, you know, going by the rules and stuff would have been good.
Yeah, it does. I mean, that's what the Army does. And even we were saying our buddy Erki, who's one of the comedians. I mean, we knew him before that. He was a comedian. He was a young guy. You know, we're laughing, jerking off, doing our thing. But when Erki went into the Army, he was helping us, and he was like, we were doing some shows on campus, or not campus, whatever, the base, and we saw him again, and we go to the base, and there's Erki Ott, and he's got the boots and the outfit, and he's standing tall, and we're like, dang, bro, and he's like in charge, and he's like, this guy does this guy's this. We're like, the Army has worked its magic on you, my friend.
Because some of my friends who have been to the Army, they were like, kind of like slobs before, you know, they didn't take care of their house and whatnot. And I'm like, okay, I'm your friend. Sometimes I'm gonna call you out. Like, can you take those pizza boxes out there, being like here for the past 2 months? Okay, but after the army, they were actually. They knew how to clean. They had some routine.
Okay, yeah.
You know, they were not smoking every day, drinking every day. They had like actually, it kind of brought some stability in their like mindset and in their daily routines and stuff like that. So, I was actually impressed when I saw my best friend cleaning and washing dishes, and I was like, wow, who is this person? I don't know this person. Like I was impressed. I was like, wow, guys go to the army to learn how to clean.
Because we don't have that in Australia. This conscription, this 8 months, 1 year thing.
Yeah, in Estonia it's like 9 months and 11 months. Yeah,
right.
So yeah. But the thing is, for me, the one thing I think the system is really conservative and old, kind of like I don't like it. It's just it shows that there just needs to be a reform, because I don't think it's fair if the guys only get like $100 per month or something. Like,
you think the wage is too low that they get for this?
Yeah,
time?
because you're forced out of whatever your normal life. Okay, maybe you already have a company, maybe you want to do this, that, whatever, and then you're like, no, you have to be like 1 year stuck there, and you don't even get paid. That is bullshit. Like, if you're gonna put me in some box, you need to pay me, honey. Okay, it's like, I don't know.
Put me in your fucking army. Fuck you with your generals and your medals.
And of course, because I'm a liberal, I think that it should not be mandatory. It should be voluntary, and they should recruit like they do in America. Join the army, blah blah blah. It's not like
in Australia,
it's like the prep. It's like a patriotism, pride, and I think there are a lot of people who would be motivated if they would have good salaries, and you're like, oh, join the army, navy, whatever, and they would be like, fuck yeah, like, and you know. So
I think the army. Okay, I mean, when you say good salary, obviously, I mean, if it is
like
100 a month, I don't want to go off that. Whatever it is, I mean, the military never typically pays what you would go like, dang, that's a great salary. I'm going to the military because I love money.
But like, okay,
it's not
like
typically,
just like,
but clearly 100 a month is if this is.
It's not fair. Like I just mean like.
Sure, a very low amount.
Something that you can actually, have a normal life or something like that is. Yeah, I never. Like, there's so many issues about, like, let's say if you have some allergies, there was some problems with the food, and like I have some friends that are really like, okay, I cannot eat this, but in the army they're like forcing me to eat it, and I'm like, but I'm allergic, and they had some problems, and it was like really like, when I heard some stories, I was like, this is some fucking Soviet Union shit, like really, like it has.
It's army shit. It's not Soviet Union shit. That's what armies do.
Still reform it, because it's like 2020 now. I'm sorry, but
what do you want? You some fucking prissy. now, first of all, while I'm a defender of the army, and I'm like, the fuck do you want? It's the army. Like, that's what the army is. That's what it instills in young men. Now, having said all of that, I never had to go to the army. I didn't have to do my mandatory service. Now, while there are many parts of the army that I do think I could benefit from, there is no fucking way that I am doing the freezing winter part of it. The bit where all the Estonian soldiers, because, the Russians could invade at any moment, and they're probably going to invade in the middle of winter because the Red Army is really good at coming in the middle of winter. And you have to go out into the forest. You've got to go through the frozen lake. You've got to sleep out there. Fuck that. I want my sunshine and my good times in Australia. So I'm really down with everything the army has to offer except the cold, because I don't want the cold. So I can't really speak for these things, but that's what you got to do. You got to be prepared. The Russians are going to come in the middle of winter. You're going to have to be under the tree, Forest Brothers style, digging a hole, living out there,
That's actually one of the problems was like, okay, if I have so much respect for women in the army, because I'm like, how the hell are you in the fucking forest? How do you bathe? Or like, for me, it's like hygiene. It's so important. What if you're having your period and you're in the... I'm sorry, this is disgusting. I know.
No, it's great. No, go for it.
I'm like, and you're moody and sweaty and and you have your period and you're in the forest. You cannot take a bath. And like, where do you keep... Like, how do you... Okay, I have so much questions.
Okay, moody, sweaty. Like, first of all, just carry some personal hygiene shit with you. I'm moody and sweaty. You think it's not hard for the guys? You think it's not shitty for the dudes to be out in the forest in those same
true.
difficult conditions as well? Like, I'm moody. I don't want to be out in the forest. Jesus, thanks for setting back.
But women have like menstrual cramps and stuff, and like they're not physically feeling the best, So
get over it, suck it up, honey. Like, I'm only assuming that's what female soldiers do. Please, if someone's in the chat, I'm just taking the role of female soldier, the protagonist. Like, you know what you do? Like, oh, I hurt. Oh, I'm gonna get out and do it.
We had a joke about that with my best friend when he was in the army. I went to visit him, and he broke his. Not his ankle, but he had an accident, so he broke his foot, and like it was like 3 months just wearing a like cast or something. Yeah. And I went to visit him, and he was like, "Oh my god, it was so horrible. Like I was bleeding and stuff." I was like, "I bleed every month, motherfucker. like you don't impress me." Like
guys are so not good with blood.
And he was laughing, like he's like, "Fuck you, Sille." And he's like, "Why are you not in the army?" I was like, "I'm busy,
I got stuff to do." Yeah. Jeez, I got my nail appointment on Tuesday. I can't be in the army.
But I know my grandpa actually really wanted to. He was really pushing it, like for me.
Why was he particular? Why do you think? Why was he pushing it?
Because I needed discipline. Literally, he was like, "It would be good for you, honestly, because you already act like a guy all the time." It's like, because I was flipping me off all the time, and I was not behaving. I was never like ladylike. You sit like, like I don't give a fuck. Like fuck you, I was smoking weed at home. Like it's just I was doing crazy shit. And he was like, I was like 19, and he's like, "Your life is not going anywhere. Go to the army, sort some shit out for yourself because you don't know."
Reasonable advice from Grandpa, not bad. He's like, "I had to fight the Russians. They came and invaded. You should learn." Like
he did not.
Really? No, that's what Grandpa. I thought that's what Grandpas do.
No, because he was born during the Second World War.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, he had some trouble with like Russian police or something.
Well, I imagine he had the fighting spirit of.
Estonia. He was an orphanage. He was struggle like because his parents died during the war, and like it was a struggle.
Sure,
he was a fucking struggle. Okay, we have it good here right now. Let's just say that. So I'm like, no, literally, like I've heard stories from my grandparents about like how they used to grow up. Like they're working already when they were 11 years old, and like really like it was war. Yeah. Like your parents died and like it's crazy, and then they were like, "Oh well, you win some, you lose some, it's life." They were like, like
win some parents, you lose some parents.
Like, I was like, and you're okay, like it actually turned out okay, and because they were like, there was no like depression back in then. Okay, there was, but they didn't know. But they were like, you just have to work. You're feeling.
We just hung ourselves. That's all there was. There was no depression. There was only the noose.
They were like, as long as you have a job, you'll be okay. Just have a job. Just work. Just work as much as you can. Don't think about it. Sille, don't think about too much. Don't think about life too much. Just work. They had this mentality, just working class. Keep your head low. Try to make the best of it. Hope your kids have a better future.
It's actually a good idea to have a female soldier on the podcast.
Yeah, I would love that. I would love that.
Yeah, talk about what it's really like. Are your periods a problem?
And she's like, what periods?
Cramps. Like, she's like, no, fuck. I smashed my period. I take it on in battle. Like, like how it must be and how it must be. Oh my God, so many questions. Like, how is it to be strong and then just see all these dudes go,
because they're like 18, 19 year olds.
And be like, fuck all of you. Like, it could be that how that is.
And the guy, I don't know how are the sleeping arrangements? I don't know.
Interesting, yeah.
I don't know, because usually they are like in a unit, they sleep together, they have to wake up to. There's like a routine and stuff like that. There's like somebody who is ahead and la. And I'm always thinking like, okay, but what about the females? Like, because I know there are some females in the army, and
how segregated, because on one hand you're like, oh, I'm a woman, don't look at my thingies. On the other hand you're like, I'm in the motherfucking army. I'm in the army. I'm ready to kill a motherfucker. I'm trained with this weapon. I know how to strip it down in 5 minutes, clean it, pull it back together, and shoot many bullets in your ass. Is that individual who is trained to stalk and kill and know how to take on the enemy, are they really concerned about, oh my God, you saw my boobs? oh, how will I ever be if you saw my
I think they're
backside
really
for
tough. I
5
think
minutes
they're
as I was.
No, I think they have total different mentality, and
Right.
they're like they don't give a fuck, and like, you know,
that's the
because
way. Yeah.
you kind of have to have like really like a strong personality and a kind of like authority or confidence in you. You cannot be the
Or
like,
at least the military can mold that into. You need to
True,
at least
true,
be
true, true.
moldable. Just as
True,
a
true,
young man, maybe a little bit insecure, a little bit not sure of himself, but maybe gets in the army, and then the military will mold them. Maybe they can also mold young women as
But
well.
I was just thinking like, okay, you're packing your stuff to go to the army, and I have my red thongs. Like I cannot. It's like,
Like, where am I going to use this? When the
Should
red
I-
army comes, I can hold it up. Like,
should I take my eyelashes on or off? It's like,
yeah, right. Okay. So you're going to be.
I have so many stupid questions. Like I would love.
That'd be so good. We need a female soldier. I don't know if anyone. Maybe, I don't know. Is any if anyone in the chat, any of the dudes, you've obviously some of the dudes I assume have been to the Estonian army. Like, were there women in there? How was that for you to relate to them? That would be quite interesting. Oh, I think it might be toilet break time. We're
Yeah.
going to get the comment from my older brother, which is a weird nickname to have, by the way, bro. We're going to get to this one, but maybe it might be toilet break time.
Cool.
At least it is for
Do you
me.
need to talk to these people?
No, I'll talk. Okay. I'll address this one. But it's toilet break time, so I'll turn up the music. We'll be back in a few moments.
Sure.
Our mic's back. Bring the music down a little bit again. I had my toilet break. I'm good. Now. Oh, shit.
Sorry. Oh,
Jesus.
sorry. I didn't know.
Let's put down the whole desk.
I didn't know I have that much force in me.
Okay, about the army theme. I was in the Navy.
Ooh.
And there was one girl there. As you know, in Estonia, it's not mandatory for them. So for some reason, the other guys were kind of bullying and made fun of her. Now, that's difficult. You know, I guess in the army, there is a certain level of as much as I've understood, it's a culture where you've got to be assertive. And you've got to, stick up for yourself. And that can be often difficult to find that correct line. Where is the line between we're tough, we push, we, do a little hazing can always be a thing, but then sometimes it can be too much. So that's going to be a factor. Like, it isn't, there isn't the beauty salon on base. There isn't that. That's what happens. We're going to have to give it.
Yeah.
Now to address though,
I cannot imagine to being the only female in a navy. Can you like all your command you're surrounded by guys. I don't just mean like the other guys in the navy, but I mean like all of your commanders or whatever. Like I don't know how the ranks go, but like everybody. And you're the only female.
It would be interesting to know like how the ranks, because it's one thing I would imagine to be like, how is everyone around you, your equal team or units or whatever it is, how they treat you. But then it's like, how does the administration treat you?
Yeah.
How do the ranks treat you? How does the leadership treat you? Is going to be very interesting as well.
You need to find some girl who wasn't there.
That's a good one. I got so many. That's really good. Again, now the next thing. Now the other question was, and we go. Even though in my opinion she did great, she stayed with 11 months. She even stayed as an active member. Look, and that's not bad. 11 months, because that's what most dudes do, is stay for less time than that. So that ain't bad. Most Estonian dudes, and again, I'm speaking out of turn because I never went to the army, but most dudes seem to last their time and then, they're like, fuck this, I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's true.
Credit to her. Okay.
Because I think this is something that really will toughen you up.
Yeah.
Like you put yourself in that environment, kind of like not hostile, but it's still pretty tough. It's a new situation. You have this really tough routine. Everything is on by the books, it's like and you need to learn, you need to test, you need to be physically active and stuff.
And there's no chocolate ice cream. Oh my God. All right.
Vegan chocolate ice cream.
Sorry.
Save the cows. This is the topic.
From the blah blah cow.
From the blah blah cow.
I had some thought to stay there too for longer, but decided to have a little break, enjoy my summer. Oh, so you're like fresh out. You're fresh out of the Navy then. Okay, because we ain't sailing no boats around anymore. We ain't going to different ports of call. The most the Navy has to protect is like occasionally a Russian submarine pops up and some guy tried to swim from Saaremaa to the land. And we're like, nah, get back, Corona man.
Did that actually happen?
I don't know. Maybe
I'm like, I haven't heard about it. I was like, but it kind of sounds real. It kind of like, I would believe you if you would say that some dude tried to swim from Saaremaa to the land.
Sure.
Yeah, I would believe that because there was like a really, really old school movie like in the 60s. There was a guy, like a character who was like, fuck it, and he swim from Saaremaa.
Oh shit. Okay.
It was just a movie.
What movie was it?
Mehed ei nuta, I think. Men don't cry. Like really Estonian 60s.
Right.
So I think it was that movie. It was black and white, and I remember like when I was a kid, I used to watch it on the VHS. I had the tapes and like I used to watch it and like and I remember there was a guy who was just swimming and people were like, "You crazy? You cannot swim that long," and blah blah blah. And he was like, "No, like I'm gonna swim." It was like the most stupid random thing. I just remember maybe I remember it wrong, but I remember having seen that movie and it was weird.
Okay. Oh, sometimes. Okay, so the Army/Navy sometimes has chocolate ice cream. So, maybe that's a thing. Maybe that's one of the ways that they made it more compatible.
I would say
women.
sign me up, but I'm too old for that.
Sure.
Sorry. It's 27.
Oh, okay. So you're clear. Okay,
I'm clear.
You're good.
You cannot put me
Grandma here is fine. So she's cool. So.
Excuse me. Like, I don't have any gray hair.
No,
unlike you.
Again. Men are so oppressed in society, but here's one area that men are great, that I can have my gray hair and so like now. No. We wanted to talk about the Bumble thing. So fair point. Why? Look, it's a fair point. Allow me to do this one. deal with this. Why are we not talking about Bumble? Because as I have understood, why have we not talked about Sille-Kadri on Bumble? Going back to the top there. Because Sille, you can still join as active member if you want. You are not the upper age limit yet. So look, it's always an option.
Fuck you.
Okay. No. The Navy needs you. Your country needs you, Sille-Kadri.
I am not a patriotic person at all. Like, no. I don't even celebrate our independence or nothing like that. I don't go to laulupidu or tantsupidu or whatever.
No, you put the outfit on. You don't run around and do that.
No.
Okay.
I'm a monkey, but I dance on my own shows, and I get paid for that. So I'm like, So anyway,
the Bumble. I feel the reason because Bumble is doing what Bumble does, and you've been having Bumble experiences, and we don't want to speak out of school too much, so to speak.
I had one date. That's fine. It's like.
Oh, is it? Oh,
I
okay.
had one date, and I had one date.
Oh, it didn't go anywhere.
We had no chemistry, so. And
I thought
it's
you said it was going alright.
It was good.
I don't want to talk about it because you told to me it was going alright.
It was going alright.
So I was being like, yo, don't ask personal questions, you fuck. And now I'm like, oh, really?
Because I already talked about it in my podcast. So because Mariana was like forcing me, like, talk what happened. What happened? Why are you still single? I was like, one match ghosted me. One match I had a date, but I was like, okay, we're like. It was mutual feeling that we're more like friends. It's like we didn't have any chemistry, but he's cool. Right. So we've been just talking, but like nothing. Just like
it didn't go anywhere. Fair enough. It doesn't have to. You just made a date.
And then I had 2 matches, but I was so busy I forgot to start the conversation.
Well, you could start. Can you do it again? Like, can you go back or that's it? It's over. It's game over now.
I think it's like. Okay, here's the thing with Bumble. There's some parts that you have to pay for. Like it's like they want like if you wanna see your beeline or whatever, then you have to pay and la la la. And if you wanna extend your if you get a match and you don't start a conversation in 24 hours, it's gonna be like it's gonna disappear.
Oh, okay.
And if you forgot like literally because I don't use it like on a daily basis. I was just checking it once a week and I was like, oh shit, fuck.
There's no commitment to this. Once a week. Who's on a dating app checking it once a week? Only a woman. If guys are on a dating app, they're like, yeah, where did I get like chicks like, oh, maybe I'll check my dating app. I don't know. Yeah.
Hey, I'm a busy bee, okay? Oh, yeah, I'm the queen bee and I'm the busy bee.
On the Bumble. Okay, we're the Bumble. We're the queen bee on the Bumble. Okay.
But actually, I was drinking alone one day and I was just checking and I reached the end. And I was like, I'm a loser.
Right, because no. That's fine. There's not that many candidates on Bumble. Bumble is much less used. I think
true.
I would say from my experience back in the day was that it was a higher quality of candidate, maybe more international, more into it. Like you had to know what Bumble was and to be like, okay, I'm going to use this platform and its thing. So there was a higher quality of candidate. Where Tinder is just like, everyone.
Now, here's the thing. You're checking out women, I'm checking out guys.
Okay, do tell. Okay, so, how is things different?
So you were like promoting Bumble. I don't know how much Bumble pays you. I was like, okay. So I was, there are a lot of foreign guys. Actually, it was 50-50. They were like 50 was Estonians, 50 was
because it's a more foreign thing.
It is. But the thing was like, the guys, they are foreign were on the app. They were mostly like either working in some IT company and being really full of themselves, and I can tell that they're so full of themselves. That's like,
okay.
You don't have bullshit the bullshitter, I'm like not interested. Or there was those students, they go to Taltech or whatever they're studying, and they're working in a restaurant and they're trying to make best of it, and they're from India or I have nothing against them, but the thing is I have worked with those guys. I know I don't understand shit I didn't understand their profile even. I was just like their English is already.
It was difficult to culturally connect.
True,
so you're saying you swiped on them on Bumble and then you swiped on them on the Bolt app as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
So you swiped no, and then he delivered your pizza.
Sorry about it. It's like, but I know. Like when I was living in Finland, I met because there's like actually communities, like there's like Latino communities, there's like different communities, and there are people who have lived in Finland for like half of their lives. Yeah. So they come from maybe Sao Paulo, but they have. Excuse me.
Sorry, weirdos. Are you defending Finland now?
Okay. When you come from a third world country and
like
you
Estonia.
used to.
Sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you. You can finish the. Sorry, you're getting all like Finland, and I'm like, okay, this is interesting.
Can I make my point?
Yeah, go
please?
Go the Bumble point. Go back to that point.
The point was like, I get it. You're used to crime and poverty and stuff like that. And if you go to Finland, then yeah, life is pretty good. Like you don't see those kind of issues. Like there was a lot of inequality from like, let's say in Latin America. You know, you come from a poor family. It's tough. It's not easy. But in Finland, like more or less, you're like equal. You work hard, you make your money, and you have a nice home, and like you have stuff that they want. Anyway, I met kind of like they're not local, but they're still foreigner, but they have lived in Europe or they have traveled enough, and they know many languages. They're interesting people. I'm like really like I was like, oh okay, I like that type of foreigners. Students who are here for a couple of years. Gonna move. Like I'm not interested in those guys who are like, I'm a digital nomad. I'm this and that. I'm like, yeah,
okay. Like, I'm an E-resident, not bitch. I want to see a real resident. Okay, I don't care about your E-residency bullshit. I need some real visa status. If you wanna settle in this household, okay. If you want a visa for this bedroom, bitch, then you better have a real residency. I want an E-residency here, okay.
Yeah, I don't care if you're from Sri Lanka or whatever.
Sure. Okay, so I mean, first of all, students. So I mean, if they're a student, now I'm not, because you've already stated your age, right?
Yeah.
So they're already typically younger than you, which might be putting it. Or you think? I mean,
if they're studying in a master's degree, then they're like 26, 28, even 30 something. Like if they're getting like usually it's like they're getting their master's degree in Estonia. They're working part time somewhere, blah blah blah, and it's so cool and fun. And I'm like, you do you know you go for your goals and stuff. But I like because I actually recognize that like the guys that I used to, because I was a manager in a restaurant, so I have hired guys like that, and I know the difference, and I know that there's gonna be some issues because if they're Muslim, and usually they put their like religion, and if they're Muslim, I know it's not gonna work for me, and like
it's gonna be difficult culturally.
It's gonna be difficult. I have nothing against any type of religion, whatever.
She's
like
so racist. Okay. Sorry.
No, I'm not. No, not. But like, it might be harder for us to reach an understanding, like where we come from and who we are and what we want in life. It can be, and actually, one thing that I really liked about Bumble is that they put if they want to have kids or not, or if they already have kids.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was like, if they already haven't done one more. Okay, like it's a baggage.
Have and don't want more.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
That's also like you can put it like that you already have kids and don't want more.
Because when I was on Tinder, I always appreciated that when maybe the third photo was her and the kid.
Okay.
So I could be like, cool, I get it, no worries. You know, because there's no field on Tinder to put that in. You've got to insert that somehow subtly into the photos or the text.
And for me, I really was connected with like a coach that I saw that were like honest, kind of like I don't know what I'm looking yet. It's like and they put it like, you know, some accounts were really honest about their beliefs, they're religious, they want kids, they want this and and it's really good because I know I don't want those things. So you know,
you don't want kids?
I don't want kids, no.
Huh?
I'm already 29.
Okay, no. Not at all. It's interesting.
Not
at all.
That? I written articles about it. That's how that's how people know me. It's like, oh, that's the bitch who doesn't want kids. So yeah, Mariana also like that was the reason why we connected during the open mic, because she was like, you have written about you don't want kids. I have written stuff that we don't want, and yeah. So and actually, it's getting more difficult for me to date now. I'm reaching 30. because when I was like, let's say when I was 21, it's like, oh, blah, blah, dating fun, la, 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 la. Nobody's thinking you too serious. Like, nobody's like thinking like, oh, she's going to be the future mother of my children, blah, blah, blah. But now when I'm 29, I kind of sense that vibe a lot.
So the guys that you're typically connecting with and so forth are, you believe they're wanting a child. They
have asked.
Oh, okay. They're right on.
Like,
okay.
They have been really upfront about it. And I'm like, no, sorry about it. And then it comes like a surprise. It's like, but maybe if you meet the right person or, someday, it's always like someday. And I'm like, maybe it's never like,
Never day.
Yeah, then they're like, but they want to become a dad. And they're like, and they lose interest. And they usually that interest.
Do you have that somehow on your profile, or is that something maybe a date or two in that is?
That's something that I didn't think about putting on my profile. I don't know even why. I probably should put it like actually.
It's hard because on one hand, I know you to be an honest person and a direct person, and you're very clear about your intentions, which is a great thing. Mm-hmm. On the other hand, if you put it on the profile, it could be interpreted as a little bit too quick. You're like, I don't want the kids.
Yeah.
And that's
I don't
like,
know,
whoa,
exactly.
whoa, okay, geez, settle down, chick. I get it. Like,
yeah, it's exactly like, it's something like, just get to know me better.
Right. But then you've got to work it in because also you don't want to be a deceptive person.
No.
And you don't want to lead them on to too many dates. I saw that video. I don't really know much about it, but the 90-day romance with the big fat guy with the neck, Big Ed, and the crazy chick from some country. And she's
the
like,
memes are everywhere.
Yeah. She's like, you're not telling me you want kid. And he's like, what? And he's like, no, I want kid. And you're not telling me I want kid. And I don't know. I don't know nothing about it, but I just saw that one video.
Because I have been dumped a couple of times because of that, because I've had like a big argument about not having kids, and like I've been really like holding my ground. I'm like, no, it's not gonna happen. You love me as I am, or you don't. Like, no, like, and I've been actually like literally been like, okay, it's not gonna work out.
Sure,
sorry,
because he wants
sorry,
that eventually.
Yeah,
some
and
sort
if
of
I put like
male
really
thing kicks in, and he's like, no, I want to be daddy, and all this. That's very interesting because typically, stereotypically, it's all like, woman, I want kids. Oh, I want this. And guys like, no, I'm the guy. I want to, get out there and get after it. And there's some age where it turns around for the guy, and the guy's like, no, I want to be daddy. It's time for daddy to be daddy. And, if he doesn't encounter a compatible woman.
Yeah.
If guys are so active on dating apps, why don't they start the conversation? Well, sorry. Oh, Anne. Sorry. Hi, Anne. Hi. Anne, the reason, so we're talking about Bumble, but Bumble, the woman has to talk first. That's...
I fucked it up.
Yeah,
so
there are differences, but that's the big difference.
Yeah, it is. And actually, that's the reason I really like that, because I'm in charge.
Right. Until you forget.
Sorry.
Oh my God.
I'm I didn't ghost. I'm really sorry. I am really forgetful person, and I have this and that, and I have blah, 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 everything going on in my mind. And
I want to be a priority. Men want to be like, no, like this chick had some time for me, and it'll be the same. If like if some chick's not going to reply to me on the dating app, I'll be like, cool chick, I get the idea. You're not into it. Like,
nothing personal. It's just life. Like, I'm sorry. It's just like, it's me. I'm sorry. I'm like, it's like, I literally, like, because I was just, at first I was like, oh, this is fun, blah, blah, blah. And then I just forgot, like, I was like, no. Then I was working and drinking and, I was just, I sort of.
So as you get older,
but I am.
Typically the men are like, time to be daddy.
Yes.
And you're like, I am being mummy. And this is causing a problem. So so what have we got to do? We've got to find a guy who is like...
I'm not this. Oh my God, this is...
Not like into that.
Like, no, the thing is like, I'm not desperate. I'm like, I would like, no, the thing is like, I would love to somebody just see me as a person that I am and be like accepting, like...
I see you as nothing but a uterus who can produce... my child and pump me out. Yeah, really?
Sometimes I feel like that. They're just looking for a wife or like for a like a mother that for take care of the house and the kids and stuff, and it doesn't matter who the woman is. It doesn't matter.
It's probably why they're single at 30. That's what they're looking for.
So it's really rare when I connect to some guy who is my age and it's like, yeah, I don't think about kids, or I have some other ambitions or goals or whatever, and then they're like cool with it, because most of the time they are not cool with it at all, and when it comes up, it's a big fucking issue, and it's like, and we argue, and it's like back and forth, and it's like they're trying to like persuade me, like, but if it's real love, but what if you change your mind when you're 35, but what about this and what? The only thing I've said is that maybe in the future I want to adopt.
Okay.
When I'm really like older, like when I'm really old, I'm young still, but I've been like actually thinking about it really, like even when I was, let's say 18 or something, like I've had discussions with my friends, and I'm like, I really support adoption, and I really like I kind of because I think it comes from because I was abandoned, so I kind of like you know get like the thing like with foster parents and stuff. It's really fucking difficult and shit like that. So I kind of
that would be enough to sort of push you into that zone of your life.
Yeah, I think so, and I think me not wanting kids is something that is, you know, because of what happened to me as a child and what comes from my family and stuff like that, and it's really, and it takes some time to get to know me, get to understand me, and like it's layers and layers. It's not something that it's gonna happen in first date. You're gonna see the fun Sille, you're gonna see the joking black, you know, the.
So you can't, and I do appreciate as a woman that you can't release this information too soon, because if I'm the dude, I'm like, and if you release that information too soon, I'm gonna be like, yo, but you haven't had this dick. Like, when you have this dick, like, she's gonna want all of my babies as soon as she has this dick. Sille wants to be a mummy, but in a different way because she likes to be in charge.
Oh shit!
Maybe.
Damn, you don't know me. Being a mother, it's a role. It's a really it's something that is not like, oh, I'm gonna be a mom for like 2 years and then, you know, it's for a lifetime.
Puppies are for life. Yeah,
it's true. It is for life, and it's a lot of responsibility. I'm not good with that. I'm gonna be honest.
Even though you're the CEO of an NGO, but I'm not good with responsibility.
But it's something like, okay, work is work. I get you're kind of like tied up with that, but you can always just, you know, let it go and just be like, fuck this, I'm gonna move out of the country, I'm gonna do this, like I'm gonna change. And I love the freedom. I love my independence. I love that nobody is actually relying on me in a way, like not every day that somebody needs me constantly, because I'm a free spirit. I'm sorry, but that's who I am. That's who I am, and I don't want too many like restrictions in my life that somebody actually depends on me.
Sure.
It's a lot of, I even talking about it stresses me the fuck out. Like
I mean, it's interesting, that stress and where it comes from, because we got a little bit here. So how old are you right now?
29.
29. Okay.
You should know it by now.
Yeah, I know. I feel I always want to check, was it 27, 30, 29? I knew it was in the zone. It's past the first zone. It's okay, second.
What are the zones?
Okay, right. Only okay. That you're 29. And it's like, it's a bold statement to make at 29. I respect it. It's interesting and right on. I wonder, and I guess this is the typical thing that you hear from guys is, what if you change your mind?
So what?
What if you change? Well, okay, so what? You try fucking dating as a 40-year-old woman. How good those options you think are going to be when you're 40 and you're out there trying to find some sort of reasonable gentleman. Is that at all, has that been something that occurs to you? Like, what? I don't know. Is it all? What if I change my mind? What if I'm 40 and I change my mind?
Yeah.
And my options are even less than these jerks around me right now?
You know what? I'm not worried, because I live in the present. Okay. Here's the thing. Like, if there's a problem, like I don't worry ahead. Like if there's a situation or problem, yes, I deal with it when it's current. Like I don't worry about future, about 10 years, 25, whatever. I don't even worry about next month, to be honest.
Okay.
I live in the present. I deal with shit that is happening right now at this moment. And for me, I have been alone most of my life without my parents, without support, without like anybody, without boyfriends, I have never been married, whatever. And I'm doing fine, to be honest. Like I have got my shit together, and relationships doesn't define who I am.
Sure.
Doesn't define my happiness, my self-love, self-worth, or nothing like that. And of course, like I am hopeful that someday I will meet somebody who gets who I am and wants to be with me as a partner and respects me and understands me and whatever, but doesn't put the pressure on me like that. Because yes, maybe I am 35 in the future and I want 10 kids. I don't know. Like, I don't think that's going to happen, but you know, maybe I go crazy. Like I'm sick of guinea pigs. I want babies now or whatever. I don't know. Okay. But the thing is, like, I've been through so much shit already. So I'm really not that worried. If I'm 40 and I'm still single and nobody wants me, so what? I'm buying the best vibrator that they have and just like being
like Gucci one. It's made of good material. It's got a remote control and
like
shit. A timer.
Bluetooth, like
Bluetooth. I've seen that's a real thing that exists right
thing.
now. The Bluetooth one. I'm so interested in the Bluetooth vibrator. Like, why does it need to be Bluetooth? Like, why? How? Under what scenario is the vibrator used from a greater distance than just a wire? Now, again, I'm not an expert at these things. I don't really know. I got my vibrator. I'm doing the thing with the vibrator. Just a wire. Just a little, we got very short wires. We know how we have this technology. You know, why do I need to be in the next room to use my vibrator? What about the hackers? Maybe ISIS has got into my vibrator. Maybe fucking there's ISIS. Yes, I have the control of the Sille-Kadri vibrator now. Yes. And now we have our plan for destruction.
Yeah, and you still didn't satisfy me. Fuck you, ISIS.
Yeah. To use P-Bear's line, I will destroy the pussy. Atomic destroy the pussy. Maybe that's... Like, why do we need a Bluetooth vibrator? I'm still not exactly sure.
I think it's just, you know, so you can say...
Okay.
It's just
from my phone, because I'm so addicted to my phone. I'm like, what's going on Twitter? Maybe.
Can we go back to talking about shaving your balls or something?
Sure.
Like,
I meant to shave my balls
normal.
this morning. I didn't. I put the razor in, but I didn't shave my balls. I'm like a bit hairy, you know. I got to shave the balls.
Yeah, it's almost summer.
It is, and they got to hang free. It's summer. We got to... Have I talked about this? You can just shave the balls. Like, they're not as delicate as you would think. You would think like, oh, it's the balls. You got to be like, what are we going to do? How are we going to make this fine thing? You just got to just run the razor over them. It's fine. It's not that bad. Like, I've never had a problem. Just run the razor over them. Because you would go like, whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, razor
Don't put sharp things
next to sharp things
yeah.
next to my balls? No way, bro. No, like, it's fine. You just do it, because I feel like if you want your balls in her mouth, you don't want to be putting these big hairy things in there. Like, the least you can do is make them smooth. Like, what do you want? Like, it'd be like eating a fruit with little bits of hair still hanging off them. You'd be like, nah. Like, I mean, let alone something comes out, right? Like, holy shit. That's the least you can do. Is just wireless is more convenient, says Gustav. Oh, like, you know Gustav, do you? Okay.
Maybe he does.
I don't know. I could look, maybe. Sure. It's still just more convenient. Like, really? Significantly more convenient? Like, the wire, is it? I don't know. Anyway.
Well, maybe it's good for the environment.
Look, yeah, maybe. Look, Gustav, though. Look, my friend, shave your balls, okay? Like, it's the least you can do when presenting them to a woman is make sure that, look, maybe there's a bit on top. I'm not saying you need to be completely hairless. I'm just saying the sack should be smooth. In an ideal circumstance, because it's not that hard.
Yeah. Agreed.
How are you? How is it for you? Because there's different levels. How are you when you see your blokes and like you're like, and you can tell like no razor has ever touched this area. This Amazon jungle has not been hit. You know, like,
I tell them that it makes your dick look smaller.
yeah.
And they usually, after that, they shave. They're no, they're not okay with that. Well, it's been a long time since I saw anything. So, yeah, usually I'm just happy when somebody wants me. I'm like, I'm gonna go with it.
Okay, you don't give a shit.
Depends. When I'm in a relationship, then it's different. But
You're like Dr. Livingstone up the jungle. You're like, you've got a Sherpa helping you find your way through, cutting away the vines. What's the knife? I need to find my way through this. Gustav says, yeah, I'm totally not 14. I'm a pro. 14 is a very specific age, my friend. Okay.
Well, it's... Yeah.
That's cool. Dating apps in general. Yeah, it's cool, Anne. I know. So, yeah, you're a bit behind. That's why Bumble is interesting. So Bumble, the woman has to connect first. Tinder, it's a goddamn free-for-all. Mm-hmm. But, so... Were you on the dating apps? Were you using Tinder at all? Just Bumble.
Just Bumble, yeah.
Okay.
I don't have time for 2 dating apps.
Oh my God, it's so much effort. I gotta swipe and the looking and the thinking and the right. So for me, when I was on Tinder, I guess I would say I think my observation was that the average age on Tinder a little bit lower. So because when you're going on Tinder, you got to say, I'm interested in from this age to this age.
Same for Bumble.
Sure. So, but the thing was that I think there wasn't enough, for me, suitable candidates saying, I want a dude who's 39, 40. So I could get to the end of Tinder in Tallinn. Like, and then, because that's a bit sad. When you get to the end, especially like Bumble, there's not that many. So I didn't feel bad about getting to the end of Bumble. But when you get to the end of Tinder and there's no one more around you and you think like, oh, I could increase the range to 80 kilometers, but then I'm getting like, and you're like, oh, you're hot as fuck, but you're in Finland. So nah, can't be fucked.
Actually, I was interested in that I'm still going to keep the app when I go to Lithuania.
Oh, yeah.
Why not?
I mean, you could though right now because I think, isn't it that Tinder, because Tinder had the paid thing that you could declare yourself anywhere.
Oh.
But in the lockdown, Tinder made that function free. So usually it's area restricted, but in the lockdown, Tinder has made it so that you can say, hey, I want to check out dudes in Vilnius.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So you got to get on it now, make those connections now. So in a month and a half, when you get down to Vilnius, this Lithuanian fucking Paulius, Julius, whatever the fuck these guys are called down there, he's like, I want some of that Sille-Kadri action. And you don't have to pay for a place to stay. You got it all sorted out. That's why. And he's all like, oh, I have somewhat Nordic woman from Estonia.
He'll be like, you speak Russian? I'm like, no. Oh, well, whatever. Let's fuck. It's like,
Oh, yeah. You need that. Yeah, you need those Lithuanian. I mean, they're good dudes down in Lithuania. Just earlier this week on the Comedy Estonia YouTube, you might have seen Ardo and Carl were talking to Paulius, who Paulius runs he's Lithuanian. They were doing the Kulapod. And Paulius is Lithuanian, and he runs, they're called the Humoro Klubas, which in English is the humor club, which sounds super lame. It sounds better in Lithuanian, Humoro Klubas, right? It sounds better. And they're basically the Comedy Estonia of Lithuania, except they're way more popular and way more famous and, way like...
They have more people there.
They have like 3 times more people.
Yeah,
so. And Paulius is the guy, he's the man, so they had him on. So, you could already be listening, getting that Lithuanian vibe. But the Lithuanian dudes are cool. Like, my observation has been the Lithuanian dudes are super cool. So maybe you should hit up that Tinder, start talking to the Pauliuses of,
2020, dating Lithuanians now.
It's Lithuanian dating time. It's the year of dating Lithuania.
Never in my life I could imagine that I would say that, you know, like, but I was just interested, like, because that was one thing that if I travel and I'm using dating apps, how is that? Because I remember when I was last year, I was 2 weeks in Spain. Then it was the first time I was actually thinking, you know, that okay, maybe I should try Tinder and stuff, and like, you know, just to be like, I'm here from this to this, and like, let's see what happens, you know. But the thing was, like, I was drunk the entire 2 weeks. So I already met people anyway. So I was like,
right, you're in Spain. Now, going with the stereotypes, there's enough Spanish dudes at any bar that you might go at. Oh, hello,
as soon as I was alone.
Yeah, boom.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, they don't
I was
fuck
like,
around,
whatever,
man.
you're Jose
Well,
or
they do fuck
Deporte.
around, but they don't fuck around. Yeah.
But I was like, the thing is, I always have a problem that guys who are married are hitting on me.
Oh, really? With the ring, or you just
with the ring even? They forget to take it.
Dang,
and I was like,
that's straight up. You're like,
yeah, and I know it. So they're like,
hello, my name is Eduardo, but you have a ring. Yes, so Eduardo must go now.
Oh, it's been so awkward. And I was like, because I've always like, been a little bit snarky about it, you know. I'm like, so when was your wedding? And they're like, what? Do you know me? I'm like, no, I just see the ring. I'm just wondering. Oh, just, yeah, we're separated. Like, and it's like, oh, it's so awkward. So, oh my God, it's so awkward. But I come on, take the fucking ring off. That's the least you can do. I mean, seriously.
That's a really good point. If you're a foreign chick and like, right on, you're in Spain. Like, right on. Like, I respect you, sister. You're like, I got to go get some action. I'm hitting up Spain. Cool. Like, no disrespect. But maybe, yeah, you're right. You're in fucking Spain. You don't need the dating app in Spain. You just need to go to the bar and start hanging out, and there's enough Eduardos who are going to start talking a conversation.
Because I usually wear nothing. It's like, you know, I have my girls out. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. You know?
Where are my girls at?
No, I have my girls out.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
You know, not today, but like usually.
Right.
So
I
I'm
mean,
like,
maybe it was, you know, back in the day, the way the British guys would come on the Ryanair or something and go like, yeah, Estonia, we're going to find the chicks or something. I don't know. But
it was like that.
it still exists for you girls if you go to Spain right now. Right on.
Because I went to Torrevieja, which is not like a big place, and a lot of tourists and stuff, but the locals were more like, you know, countryside locals that are cool, but their English is terrible. Like I was like, sí, me gusta. I was like, whatever. Like I was like, whatever. It's just like, and I made out with a cop, and
make it with a cup?
Yeah. I
like a cup?
like a police officer.
Oh, a cop.
Like a cop.
I was like, you made out with a cup? I'm like, how drunk were you? I'm like,
Okay.
You're the case. Yeah. So, okay, a cop. Okay, a police officer.
Police officer, yeah.
Right.
Local police officer.
How did you know? Did he say, I am a police officer?
Actually, his friends told me that.
He didn't want to say, but yes.
But he was like,
my friend Miguado, he's police officer. Yes,
I don't know what the fuck his name was.
I don't know what they call him in Spain. Miguado.
Yeah.
Hello, Eduardo.
They usually have like 3 names as well. Like it's like, what I can call it. Like if I call him Jose, it's probably right. I'm so racist. I know. I'm sorry.
Jose.
But like,
you can be racist as fuck as long as you're putting out. I don't give a shit. You call me Skippy the bush kangaroo. I don't give a shit, chick. As long as we're making out, you can call me fucking Crocodile Dundee, Hunter. I don't give a fuck.
A Wombat.
Yeah. Call me Aboriginal names, no problems.
So bad. But yeah, I had a great time. But the thing was like, the police officer. It was so funny because I told Mariana that I made out with a police officer. Mariana was like, "What the fuck?" Like, and I'm crazy, you know. And like, he didn't speak any English, and I mean like none. And I had actually like his friend who was international. He was translating what he was saying. It was so funny.
Oh my God.
And then the guy who was translating wanted to hook up with me as well, and I was like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Nice. He's like, "Yo, got to get my commission. I need a little kickback here for the work I'm doing." Fair enough. He's like,
it was like that was let's just say it was an interesting week.
Dang, yeah, he's got to get paid too, you know. Like,
I was like, I was making jokes like, "Oh, are you the ambassador?" Or you know, like just like you know, because it was
come
like
into the embassy.
Yeah. I made so many bad jokes. I have a person that like the thing is like, like okay, maybe you notice my look because I look so different. I was at a really local weird bar that only like Spanish people go, and there was not a lot of foreign people, so I really stood out. I'm gringo. I know I'm gringo. Like, so, you know, I know it because like my Latino friends call me Sille di mozzarella. Because I have a white ass and it's like mozzarella, you know.
Mozzarella.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
They're like, oh, yeah, I see some mozzarella coming. You know, it's like because I'm so white, you know. And I had a great time, and yeah, but they were like, as soon as somebody talked to me, and I was like, I have no idea what's going on. So I was clueless. I was drinking my whiskey. I was doing my little dance, you know. I was having a good time, and it was funny. It was really funny. And yeah,
I think it's great. You can go like that country, do that thing, have your good time. You're like, I'm a chick. I'm from the Nordics.
yeah.
I'm looking for a good time.
Because I felt exotic. Actually,
Yeah, do it. You should be able to. And even if there was a woman who maybe you're watching, maybe you're from the Estonia, from the Nordics, whatever. And look, maybe you don't even need to go down and get some Spanish chorizo, right? Maybe you don't even need to get that. Maybe you just like, you know, I would love it. You know, hey, Louis, let's go back, rewind like a few years, right? Not right now. Be like, hey, Louis, there's a place you can go, talk to a bunch of good looking chicks. You may not get laid, but you can talk, go out, have a good time, talk about, you're like, yeah, it sounds all right.
Yeah.
Sounds good, yeah.
Why not?
Or welcome to me in Estonia in 2006, maybe. I don't know.
So yeah, I had a great time, and I always love when I stand out, you know, when I get attention. I love
Sure, that's
attention.
your
Come
style,
on,
yeah.
excuse me, like every Friday.
Is it
You know?
only Spain? I mean, Spain is such the stereotype. Like, oh, Spanish
Okay,
guys,
okay.
yeah,
In
yeah.
Turkey as well.
Oh, okay, Turkey.
It's also a stereotype.
All right, yeah. Italy, is that a thing? as
I've
well?
never been to Italy.
Okay.
No,
They
never
got the
been to.
corona now. You don't want to go there. No one's
I
the
also
corona.
stood out when I was in Dubai, kind of.
Sure.
But they thought that I was an escort, so it was different.
Yeah, Dubai's going to be different because you got the big difference in society
Yeah.
between the Arabs and
Yeah.
then the other people who from the different countries that are
There are
workers.
a lot of expats there.
Right, a lot of expats. So you're either mixing in very distinct communities, the expat community, the Arab
Yeah.
community, which I wouldn't even know how to get into. Because when I went to in 2005, when I was a IT consultant in Sydney, and I was a trainer. I was a software trainer because when I have a master's of computer science. But my first boss, Rob, who, he very quickly worked out that I was better at talking than I was at programming. So he made me, they did software training. So I was a software trainer.
Okay.
And not very long out of university, they were like, yo, we got opportunity. Who wants to go to Saudi Arabia? And it was one of those things where like everyone stepped back and I'm like, yeah, cool. I'll go to Saudi Arabia. So, yeah, I got to go to Saudi. I wasn't that long out of university. So stupid, so young. And I'm in for like 3 weeks in Riyadh, teaching, working for basically the company was Saudi Aramco, the big oil company there.
Oh my God,
and
yeah.
so I'm giving these software training courses to these Arab dudes. And it was very interesting. And after a while, I got to know a few of them. And, they would maybe on the weekend take me out,
Yeah.
show me the sights of Riyadh. There is a lot to see on one hand, but also they're not, it's not like a touristic place.
I agree.
And I did get to talk to them a little bit. And I was like, yo, how did you, hook up? You got partners. And at best, I was like, a lot of the time, it was arranged. They were like at the family or it was either arranged or it was the first girl that I met. On a very rare story that I heard, someone had dated somebody, it had not worked out, and they had dated somebody else. That was extremely rare situation for those people. So they're mainly just, there's not the same dating culture. There's not the same going out
Yeah.
kind of culture.
I was there in like 2017 or something like that. So
Okay.
later than you. it was like, yeah, the city is really impressive and this and that, and tall buildings and camels and Lamborghinis and Ferraris and blah blah blah. It's a lot. And I've kind of. It felt really plastic to me, it felt like it doesn't have a soul, because I'm used to like old town shit, having this history, having this culture, blah, blah, blah,
old
blah.
town is a tent for those guys. Like literally one generation ago, they were nomadic people with tents and so forth, and then Texas tea comes up, and then it's like time for a metropolis.
Because I think that Dubai was built in 71.
Something like this. Once the oil comes, then bam.
So they started, So it's a really new city, like it's so new, and it felt like for me it was weird that a place that doesn't have a long history, and it's the middle of the desert. It was weird. The climate was weird for me. I wasn't not used to it. That it's burning hot, and then it's like kind of like it drops after 6 o'clock when the sun goes down. It drops like 10 almost degrees or something.
It's very cold afterwards.
A little bit like it was not cold for me, but it was still like wow. You could really feel it. It was like really sudden, and for me, there was like I met some people who were from Ireland, Irish people, and then there was a lot of like Canadians and people from America, and like
What were you doing in Dubai?
I was just like visiting my friend, and I was on a holiday there.
Oh, okay.
So because my friend used to live there, like, and he was working there, and it was like, oh, you want to come, blah, blah, and I was like, yeah, sure. And I was just like, yeah, whatever. Like,
cool.
It was like November. So I want to go somewhere where it's warm, and because it was snowstorming in Helsinki, and I was like, I want to get the fuck out of here. So I went there. Like it was really interesting experience, because I could see that there's really strong communities that like the Irish will stick together and the British will stick together. It was interesting for me, but usually they were living together like in an apartment, like 4 or 5 of them. And they were making a lot of money, but they were also spending a lot of money. And it was kind of like, when I was talking to people, I didn't get the sense that they were actually happy with their lives. It was kind of like, just like a facade. It was like putting on some like masquerade all the time. And I was just like, okay, but...
I think unless you're actually like, I've got a goal, I want to get the house or the whatever I need. But if you're just there for the money, I mean, we know that anytime you're just working for money, it's a tough thing. And it does seem like that. Either you've got to get in, get out, or with direct goals and very distinct goals, or not. But
because like I was hanging every day with different kinds of groups, and then the people were like drinking like heavily. I mean, like the foreign people there were drinking heavily, but it was really expensive to like go out and eat and have drinks, and the bars were super expensive. Like I paid 12 euros for a beer. I mean, it was not cheap. So but they were like, like I'm a teacher here, and like like I've been here for 5 years, and like blah, 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 talking like that, and I'm like, but are you happy?
Yeah, is it fun? Are you enjoying these?
It doesn't
5
seem
years?
like they seem like really like overworked and like kind of like I don't know. I get like the sense that this city was so fake. Right. Kind of like the people were fake, the buildings were fake, and also because I went to the part where actually the workers live, the taxi drivers, the construction workers,
which were often from another country, maybe Bangladeshi, Indians, something like this.
Exactly. They were from. Not only they were Pakistani and like nearby, and mostly like Indian and stuff like that, and they lived in really shitty conditions, and it was like that was another like side of it. It's not the Dubai Marina or the mall or the Burj Khalifa or whatever. It wasn't the fancy, glamorous, touristy, blah blah. But it was like I actually saw how the common folk live there, who build those huge buildings, and they get paid nothing, and then they have the families, they send the money, and they live with like 10 people in tiny apartments, and it's I didn't think it was fair. I saw a lot of like inequality there, and I just saw that this is some kind of like city of castle. It's like everything is, streets are made of gold, but there's like
I think it's
slavery
different culture. I think it's how the Arab people one thing, like, because I got to, I guess, kind of know them a little bit. Well, in a way that I was teaching these groups of Arab people, and I had to really quickly learn the hierarchy of the room.
Oh,
that
okay,
they're
okay.
super hierarchical,
Yeah.
and they're super like, yo, the boss is the boss, and the boss is super important. And like when I'm teaching a class, I want to identify who doesn't know what's going on and give them more help or whatever. But I sort of had to really learn to read the classroom super fast to learn out who was the manager and who was just the doer. Now, I will say, like stereotypically, if you were just the doer, the lower level, they really didn't know much. They weren't very technically skilled. And it was, in some ways, more difficult to teach them because they weren't very technical skilled. They really weren't that technically trained. But I noticed that I couldn't, I had to educate them, but not bring too much focus to their lack of education in that, because the manager was always in the room or the one level up. And I could not bring focus to this gentleman's lack of education or lack of technical knowledge, because his manager would notice it. And if the manager noticed it, that's great dishonor. This is not good. He doesn't want, because it's all about the honor. It's all about the image. And so if his manager noticed, he would hate me. And the other part of when you're giving training courses as a software trainer, the only real criteria that I am based on is the survey. They do a survey on the last day, and that's really, unless someone makes a direct complaint, that's really the only criteria. So I get real good at learning how to butter people up and make them give me a good survey result. So you learn how to do that. And so on the other hand, I came to be a bit cynical about my job, because I'm like, as long as I can get them to give me a survey result, they won't know for about 2 months that I didn't teach them nothing. So I've kind of learned how to get everyone into alignment that they would. And even after that, my bosses who were in the UK were so like, yo, Saudis are crazy. We don't really understand nothing what they're doing. We will even disregard their survey results. That's how much money Saudi Aramco had. Like, they're just giving us money. We don't give a fuck. We understand if they give you weird survey results, we're not even going to judge you. The one criteria that I had, they're like, the one thing that we're going to judge you on how good your job does, we're not even going to worry about that too much. And I'm like, cool. So
made it work, yeah, because for me it was like, you know, a lot of fancy shops and this and that, and it was all like extra, so extra, everything was like expensive and blah blah. And I was like I appreciate it because it's so different. For me it was not like a culture shock, but it was so different, you know. And I met some Arabs, you know. I didn't met some sheikhs or whatever, but I stumbled across like some guys from Oman, and like I was just like, because I'm like, hey, I'm Sille-Kadri, la 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 la, and they were like, do you know who you're talking to? Like, and I was just like,
were they trying to impress you with their shit?
No, it was like, they were like, okay, you're not from here. It's okay, you know. I wanted to get a picture, and I have like, because they were wearing their like, you know, turbans and stuff, and I was like, I like it. I liked it because I'm a stupid tourist, you know. I was like 25.
Were any of them like going like, I'm gonna get this foreign woman?
No, because when I stepped into a bar, there was Asian, like I think Chinese woman. She thought that I was an escort, because there's a lot of like escorts. No, there's a lot of Russian escorts, Scandinavian, whatever, and it's really common there. It's super illegal, but it's and the women make a really decent money there, stuff. And like, because I was talking to everybody, like I was like blah, 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 you know, but I was just like, you know, I'm on a holiday, like, you know, I'm here and it's like 30 degrees and I'm drinking beer and I'm having fun, you know. It's just, that's why I'm really social. And I was talking to everybody, and then this Chinese woman is like, girl, you can do better. It's like,
well, your act could be better. Hey, I got feedback. I got notes on how your performance is doing. Honey, if you want to, you seem like a rookie in the game.
I was like, I'm not here for business, okay?
She's like, of course you're not here for business. I'm not here for business either. Why are you doing that? Yeah.
And I was really confused. And then I asked my friend, like, I was like, what are they talking about? And it's like, they think you're an escort and you're trying to get a customer. I was like, oh no. I was like, no.
I'd be like, really? There's a Lamborghini in offer? Really?
What's your price? Name your price, you know.
Just got to touch that a bit for a ride in a Lamborghini.
So
is it a good Lamborghini?
and I asked my friend like, how do you know who's an escort and who's not? And he said like, if the talk is too good to be true, and the chick is like drop dead gorgeous and into you, like for no reason at all.
Sure.
Just like, what you do, what is your occupation, and like la 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 la. And if you say that you're not some CEO, then she's like,
She's
okay,
out.
yeah,
Okay.
because she wants like 1,000 euros per an hour or something. Like it's like, you know,
Sure.
it's like, and I was like, but they cannot be like, they're so gorgeous. They like have really super nice outfits and like, because I always had this kind of like an idea, if you're a prostitute or whatever you do, like okay, but like I always thought that, oh no, they work in the streets or something. And my friend was like, no, this is Dubai. So everything
Dubai,
is like, like, you know, the high class and stuff, and the escorts are like the worst best. And I was like, well, I guess you know.
Sure. I mean, if you're driving off in the Lamborghini, then this is saying something about the paying capacity of the clients.
Yeah.
So I want.
And I was like, I didn't know about that. That was really interesting. Because.
You're
Yeah,
like, I would have prepared. You're like, yeah.
I was like, I'm wearing no makeup, like fuck. So I had a great time. It was so different. It was not like Europe or anything I have seen anywhere. It was not even like Turkey or Spain or whatever the other countries that.
Because I don't have that opulence in Turkey. Like, yeah, there's a lot of dudes going, but it's not. You know.
But it was fun. But I heard so much shit about like, oh, if you go to Saudi Arabia, you have to dress in burqa or something. And it's not true at all. It was like I was wearing.
When I was there, I didn't. In the 3 weeks that I spent in Riyadh in Saudi Arabia, I will say that I didn't see in my interactions. I was teaching classes, and then I mean in my off time. First of all, they say like, there's these police that you can't just walk the streets. And I walked the streets. I walked the streets in my Hawaiian board shorts. It was fine. But I didn't interact with a woman for a couple of weeks. And I do remember after like 2 weeks, I went to the supermarket and I noticed there was a foreign woman there and she didn't have the thing on. So, okay, I was like, that's cool. But I saw a foreign woman after 2 weeks at the supermarket and she had her face was not covered. But she was right down to her, almost to the bottom of her legs was covered. But I had not seen a woman in 2.5 weeks. And I was like, oh, there's some hot ankles. Oh, yes. Yes. Walk around, pick up those peas. Yes. I want to, yes. Oh, the ankles. And I was starting to understand why jihad happens at that stage. I was like, maybe dudes just got to get laid a little more and then the Middle East would be a little calmer.
But the thing is, like, you can sexualize anything.
Sure.
You can wear a fucking burqa and still people be like turned on by your shape or whatever.
Or
like
anything. Like dudes
eyes or whatever.
Anything.
Like whatever. Yeah, it's like.
I was like, why do we need such a sexually repressed culture? Is that part of it? I mean, we don't want to go crazy. We don't want to go Instagram,
because I think that porn is not allowed. They're like,
I don't know how it would go.
But my friend was complaining about that porn is illegal. So
maybe it is. All I know is that
because
back when, and we know that I'm not looking at so much porn these days, but back when I would want to frequent such websites, if there was pornography that was made in a Middle Eastern style, maybe there was the traditional outfits, the burqa, the thing, or some sort of hint of that, dang, that'd be number one.
Yeah.
Or if there was something, some sort of porn that was like made out to be like maybe Indian in culture. And again, just because there's such a large base of people there that like just statistically, if some dudes are into like something Indian, Pakistani, Bangladeshi, dressed in that particular way, dang, that's number one, like of the charts.
Yeah. Because there were some restrictions with your internet. I remember that I couldn't access all websites, and like I remember there being some restrictions, and there was like
it was
because like being gay is not okay there, and like there was a lot of things like that. Like I remember, and my friend told me that porn was not allowed, and like magazines, videos, sites or whatever. Nothing.
You gotta
was
keep that shit on your laptop before you go.
Yeah.
You need to.
Yeah. So like, or you have some good friends who will send you something. Or
Okay,
like
some download links, some VPNs.
Yeah, like something like that. But I also like, because I ask a lot of stupid questions whenever I travel. I'm like, I'm the stupid tourist. I don't know anything. So I was like, do you even have booze here? And they were like, yes, it's expensive, but it's allowed because there's so much foreign people here. The community is so big, and if they would be a dry country, it wouldn't work for that.
But it's in the gated communities, discreet places.
It's like in the bar. There are some laws. Okay, you cannot be drunk in public.
All right.
You can get arrested. You don't want to do, like, I was not fucking with Dubai police. I was like, I'm not fucking with you guys. Like, I was drunk, but I was like, okay, we're gonna get a taxi, or we like, because I'm like, I don't want, like, if I would be in prison in Dubai, my life would be over. Come on, like, and you don't want to get arrested in a foreign country because the odds are against you, literally. Sure. Like, so, so they were like, they had some rules and the prices were high. I don't remember that they actually sold a lot of booze in like convenience stores or something. I didn't see that at all. Like, I don't remember at all, because I remember like we went out for drinks, and like, because my friend asked me to bring some like rum and gin and stuff from Estonia, and I was like, yeah, I can buy. And he was like, the limit is 4 liters that you can bring to the country. And I was like, sure, I'm gonna bring you like 2 liters of rum and 2 liters of gin, and we're gonna have a party, and it's fine. But like, because you cannot actually buy booze there. It's like you can go to a bar and have a drink and stuff, but and I get it, because they had so much foreign people, and if they would just repress their right to drink, it would be a problem, because there's so much companies. And
they need the foreigners to run the place.
They need it. So it was really interesting. It was so different. I was like, wow. It was an experience. I've never seen anything like that before.
I don't know how the fuck we got onto talking about the Middle East, but we did. I know, the geopolitical
from your balls to the Middle East
situation. That's right. That should be the name of my next comedy special. From my balls to the Middle East.
Wow.
That could be it.
And you would get arrested when you would do your show in Dubai.
In the Middle East.
Can you imagine doing your show?
From my balls to the Middle East. But we're coming up to 6 o'clock, so we're gonna wrap it up again. We've done another. This is number 7.
8.
This is 8. This is 8 today. We did 8. We're gonna do it again next week. Yeah.
You're not sick of me?
No.
It's
this is okay.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. No, I don't want to have kids with you, but still, I'm not sick of you. Like, I don't want to. You don't want to.
Thank you. That is the best compliment I got this year, and this is really sad. It's really sad. Okay. Like,
I like you even though I don't want to have kids with you. Okay. She's waiting to hear that. Jesus. Thanks very much for joining, everybody, for being in the chat. It's been cool. We're going to be next week.
Yes.
And you want to check out that new Tissident episode.
It's everywhere. Check the charts. We're there. We're on top, baby. Yes. Woo!
All right, guys.
Top 3 or something like that.
Very nice. Thanks for watching, guys. Signing off now. Bye-bye.
See you next week. Bye-bye.